Good evening, Rockdale County, and welcome to This Week from Rockdale with your host, Larry Cox, on the Sunday edition. It is great to have everybody here today, and I'm going to go in here and say hello to some folks because that's what I need to do. Good evening to Mary Boysworth. Good evening, William Campbell. Good evening, Tina Hobbs. Good evening, Danielle Munoz. And good morning. And also a happy Mother's Day to all mothers watching. Megan Walker, glad to have you here. And George Kelichek, great to have you here today. Also, as more people join, I will, of course, greet them and tell them hello. And it'll be nice to have them on the show this evening. Clayton Orwig, good evening, Clayton. Nice to see you. Guys, I'm going to talk to you a little about several different things tonight. First story I'd like to talk to is about Dr. Des Moines Kenny, and he is running for House District 92, or is he running for House District 92? Good evening, EFAT Walker. I see EFAT's joined us today. So Dr. Kenny had originally filed to run in House District 92. We just had redistricting occur. And when the redistricting occurred, Dr. Kenny apparently lives on a street that if you live on one side of the street, you live in House District 92. If you live on the other side of the street, you live in House District 93. And I believe that initially all of that was House District 91. So with the redistricting, Dr. Kenny had assumed that he lived in House District 92. So Dr. Kenny went and filed his candidacy papers with the Georgia Democrat Party at the state capitol, because both parties are the entities that qualified their candidates at the state capitol. The Georgia Democrat Party had a room at the state capitol, and the Georgia Republican Party had a room at the state capitol. And each party qualified their candidates that were running for statewide office. So, with that being said, so I guess that Dr. Kenny goes to vote for himself this week and realizes he's not on his own ballot because he actually received a ballot to vote for House District 93, but he is a candidate in House District 92. So here lies the problem. In the state of Georgia, to represent a Senate or House district, or to represent something in a county or county district or whatever, you must reside in the district that you are running for. So Mr. Kenny was given the options. I believe he could actually withdraw from the race or continue running and then file some sort of appeal afterwards. That appeal is not going to go anywhere because Dr. Kenny lives in the 93rd. They are not going to redistrict 92 and 93 to put him within the lines to serve or whatever. So depending on the outcome of the election, and I feel for this, and I am sorry for Dr. Kenny, but these kind of things happen with redistricting, and it's the state party ultimately said, the Democrat state party ultimately said it's up to the candidate to verify where they live. I think both bear some blame in this. The Democrat Party should have verified the address. They should have went and verified with the Secretary of State's office, since this was one of those districts that had been realigned, and you could live on one side of the street or the other, and it impacts you. So I think we've got to realize that that this happens. I know on the Republican side, we had a few things that had shifted in some of our counties and such, and we clarified with candidates about what district, because some of them thought they lived in one place, lived in one district, but with redistricting, the lines had been shifted and such. We also, with our district committees and such, we had a realignment with those, the Republican Party, and that's how I became the chairman of the 4th district. We had a realignment. The 4th district chairperson had lived in the 4th. They got shifted to the 7th, and another person from the 5th was coming to the 4th. So, I was going to mount a challenge against that individual. That individual decided not to seek the chairmanship. So I won the chairmanship. So those kind of things have happened with redistricting. Gets very complicated. So, I do feel for Dr. Kenny and his plight, but at the end of the day, uh, Dr. Kenny is actually qualified to run in the wrong district. And if he would happen to win, he would not be able to serve in that district because he does not live there. That's just the way it goes. You have to live in the district that you've filed in for, a year. And with redistricting, I think you had, same thing. You had to live in that district that they redistricted. So it's a shame. He's put a lot of time and effort, sincere candidate. But you know what? We'll just see what happens, what his vote count gets. And if I was him, I wouldn't have withdrew either. I would have stayed in the race, just kept running, built name recognition, built that what it needs for the future, because very rarely do first-time candidates actually win. So this would be a great opportunity for him to build name recognition for the future, if he so desires a future in politics in Rockdale County. So I agree with him staying in the race and letting people know who he is. It shows character also. So, good luck in the future, Dr. Kenny. And, just sorry for the bad luck and with that, conflict with the redistricting and everything. I hope that everything else pans out with you. I have a question. Somebody has a question, so let's go there. So, okay, let's see here. I have a question. Are any of his campaign funds going to be paid back into his coffers? No. I mean, any monies that the campaigns that have been spent, then no, they will not be. If he's loaned himself money and if there's money left in his campaign, he can pay himself back. But no, any contributions would not be paid back. I don't think he actually knew he was in the wrong district till he went to vote for himself and discovered that he was not allowed to vote for himself because he received a ballot for District 93. And I think that's when it was discovered that he was in the wrong district because he couldn't vote for himself. So now, and since that's happened, everyone is aware that he is not. I'm not certain what street. Clayton's asking what street. I'm not certain what street it is, but all the districts, there'll be a street or there'll be an area of land that districts meet against each other. So, 94 and 93 will have a connector. 93 and 92 will have a connector. 92 and 91 will have areas that they abut against that will do the same thing. So, not certain about that. But that, it's an interesting thing. Those things do happen. I mean, like I said, I don't think it's negligence or really, I mean, it's just one of those things that it was just bad luck. I really think bad luck. So, Mike Terry, welcome. George Kellichek, welcome. And George Kellichek has brought something up that I was actually going to talk about. So, since he's brought it up, I'm going to mention it. So, this past week, the Rockdale voter has joined efforts with the Republican Party and former Chairman Richard Oden in asking for a forensic audit of the forensic financial audit of the Rockdale County. The petition is being filled out on the rockdalevoter.com. So if you go to the rockdalevoter.com, read the information that we have on there regarding the petition and such, then you can actually fill the petition out, and we will at some point deliver those to the Board of Commission asking for the audit. Former Chairman Odom wanted at least 500 signatures. I don't see any reason why we can't get more than 1,000 signatures. Do you guys? So with your help, you go out there, you share that information. Let's push this because I think we've got like 75 people who have signed that so far. And then I think that the chairman had about 40 or 50 in-person ones. So we have well over 100 right now. Mike, it is shareable. I mean, several of the people asked me about the post and it not being shareable. I went back in. I did initially have it just to my friends. So anybody on my friends list should have been able to share it. I went in and made it public. So it was made public and anybody should be able to share it. So, I mean, as to why it's not something with Facebook, not me, because I did go in and change all the settings to make sure that it was a public post and anybody could do anything with it. So if it's not, I do not know why it's not working properly. But I did go in and make that post shareable. What I may do tomorrow is I may go and do another post and make sure it's public before I post it. See if that makes a difference, Mike. So let's try that tomorrow. Tomorrow at some point, I'll go and create another post, make it public beforehand, and we'll see if that makes a difference and see if you guys can actually share that and stuff. Since we're talking about sharing, guys, I'd like to do something a little bit right now if I could. I'm actually going to share the screen. And I'm going to play a video because, I love to play a video. And I'm going to talk about this video a minute first. This is the SPLOST video that Alex McDonald and I cut. We have 3,200 views right now with over 2,100 of those being through plays, which means they've been watched all the way through. Really would like to see over 5,000 views of this by Election Day. And that would bring us up near probably 38 to 4,000 through plays. And I think if we get that kind of publicity, that kind of traction with this video, this advertisement, informing people about the SPLOST, I think that at the end of the day, we're all going to be happy about the numbers that we see at the ballot box on it. So I am going to play this video again so you guys can do it. And I'm going to, and I'll talk a little bit about it afterwards. Now that the Public Facility Authority has been passed into law behind our back, it's even more important for us to put more scrutiny on this law. I'm here at the new City of Conyers City Hall building that we built for less than $15 million. It's an example of how far your money can go if used properly, based on a community view rather than the desires of the legislation. At the same time, the funding of this building was approved. The voters of Rockdale County made themselves loud and clear by voting down the $140 million proposal to build the most expensive courthouse in the city. While we agree there is a need for a new courthouse in Rockdale County, we know that there are ways to do this that meet our needs and we cannot. One of those ways is to utilize funding mechanisms already available, and to adopt the plan created by the courthouse committee, building at Parker Road for less than $30 million. If the county were to build here at Parker Road, property we already own, property that was purchased with the intent of building here, property that is perfectly situated within the county, we could avoid decades of PSA funded debt for the homeowners of Rockdale. Unfortunately, the way the current SPLOST is written, this is wrong. And that's why it's important to defeat the SPLOST on May 24th and to reintroduce it the correct way, including a specific project to implement the courthouse committee's $30 million plan to build here at home. On May 24th, vote no to the SPLOST to end the cycle of financial. Well, that was the video that Alex and I cut, and it's been very effective, and it is getting the word out. I actually had a lot of conversation with some people last week. People stopping me, calling me. I delivered a lot of SPLOST signs last week. So if anybody wants additional SPLOST signs this week, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Give me a call. Tell me you want them. I'll deliver them. I went to a little bit late in the day to the Taste of Conyers yesterday. Talked to several people that wanted to know about the SPLOST, and they told me they would typically and normally vote for the SPLOST, but they watched the advertisement, then they did a little bit of research, and that they agree that we can't vote for this SPLOST as it's presented. So but the Rockdale County voters are beginning to educate themselves on what's going on, why they shouldn't vote for this SPLOST, and if they do defeat this SPLOST, what they expect the Board of Commission to do in 12 months when they reintroduce the SPLOST. We expect the SPLOST to be introduced properly in 12 months. If the SPLOST is not introduced properly in 12 months, they can expect this group of citizens to do the exact same thing they're doing right now. Actually, you know what? The opposition group, we've not heard one thing from the county government. They've not asked us to come in for a meeting, ask us what we could do to work together to get through this or anything. Their philosophy on this is we'll just defeat them anyway, beat them at their own game. Not going to happen, guys. Even let's just say worst case scenario happens, this SPLOST somehow passes. I have an attorney that is ready to take this case on the merit that it was introduced illegally and improperly, and that from the beginning, from being introduced, from the commissioners campaigning for it illegally, and for their committee that is advocating for it being an illegal committee spending dark money. So this SPLOST has been a shameful attempt by this county from beginning to end. And that's why it's so important that the citizens of Rockdale County say no to this disgraceful piece of legislation, to this disgraceful ballot issue, and tell the Board of Commission and the Rockdale County government, you work for us, and it's time that you stop just doing what you want and thinking it's okay. So, guys, like I said, I'm going to touch on this again toward the end of the show, because I want to make sure, that I do my due diligence, because the SPLOST is a very important issue. It's something, like I told you, I will be talking about it the next couple of weeks, because it is very important to discuss, because it is going to impact every one of us, especially with the citizens of Rockdale County facing all of the millage rate and tax increases that we're going to over the next year because of different funding issues. And I'm going to talk about some funding issues in a little bit too. We're going to, like I said, it's 8:20 and we've got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about, and we're not going to not talk about it, because you deserve to know. I want to talk about one of the candidates running for county commission right now. And I've been out on West Avenue holding the No SPLOST sign. I've had volunteers come out. Laura Skelton came out. Dan Burks has come out. And I've had several other individuals come out and hold the sign and help me this week. And I love it when, and as each one of them have done this, they've got to interact with some candidates and stuff. And one of the candidates they've got to interact with is EFAT Walker, because EFAT Walker has spent most of the time that ballot casting has been going on at the early voting location, meeting people that are walking by. She's been and people, voters have been coming over and speaking with us and asking us questions, making sure that they're informed about the issues and what's going on. But she has really worked hard. She's been out there. She's got her team out there working hard. Like I said, this is what I've told people the last few weeks on this show, and I want to really repeat this again. Do not vote for Doreen Williams. Doreen Williams is bad for Rockdale County. Doreen Williams is one of the reasons we don't have the Parker Road facility for early voting. Doreen Williams, along with Sherry Washington and Oz Nesbitt, gave that facility away for $10 a month. Restoration Storehouse is leasing out spots over there and making money on that, hands over foot. They are making money hands over foot by leasing spaces out over there. Doreen Williams allocated county funds so that she could rent space over there for her grapes and grit. I call it scrambled eggs. But she's, she is leasing property in that building. She's leasing a space in that building where the Board of Elections office used to be on there, painted on the window, grits and grace. It's a disgrace that we have a sitting commissioner that voted to give that away for $10 a month and is now profiting from that decision and also the county supplementing her nonprofit being in this facility that she voted on that also. Definitely a conflict of interest. Doreen Williams does not need to serve as commissioner of Rockdale County any longer. The citizens of Rockdale County need to make a choice. And the choice is simple. You've got two other candidates that are in that race. You need to look at those candidates. You need to make the choice. Democrat voters, that's your choice because you've got the candidates running. I recommend that the Democrats go and they look. They need to look at what's going on. They need to decide which one of the two other candidates running, other than Doreen Williams. Whatever you do, do not cast a vote for Doreen Williams. She is bad for Rockdale County. So, and like I said, EFAT Walker has been there. She's been there. She was there all last week. I spoke to her, the other day, and she said her team is going to continue pounding the pavements, doing the things necessary to be able to win this race. And I think she's going to. I see the fire in her eye when I talk to her, guys. I think she's serious about this, and she's serious about this. And I'm going to tell you something she told me, and she is passionate about this. One of her first things that she wants to do in office, and one of the things that she will do is fight for 5 commissioners. EFAT Walker believes that 5 commissioners is a must for Rockdale County, to be able to move past the corruption and the incompetence that's going on right now. So I was really glad, and she is adamant about this, that Rockdale County has to have 5 commissioners, because she's told me that voters have told her they think they have districts anyway. They think post 1 and post 2 are districts. The Rockdale County voters think they live in districts right now anyway. So on the Republican ballot, if you make sure you share, have your Republican friends know that there is a ballot question. Do you believe that the commission should be elected by district? The answer to that is yes. So check yes. Another way to get this message out here, guys, is this show tonight. If you guys would like the show and share the show. So, everybody watching it right now, we got a good audience on here right now. So why don't you guys like the show and share the show so that we can get this reach and get people to know what's going on. Just like I played the commercial before about the SPLOST. Go to Cox for Rockdale and share that video, because if we do this stuff, then we can make a difference. And if we make a difference, then guys, we can turn this county around. We really can, because our vote at the ballot box can matter if we make it matter. I'm going to repeat that. It can matter if we make it matter. And that's what needs to happen. It can matter if we make it matter. And it will matter if we vote for new people and we upset the apple cart and we vote no for the SPLOST. We answer these ballot questions and let this county commission know, yes, consider another place other than Old Town for a courthouse. Yes, we want a county manager, as the Democrats have got it in their thing. We do need a professional that runs the day-to-day operation. And yes, Terry Oates does need to be replaced as school superintendent of Rockdale County. He needs to be replaced tomorrow. There was one of our friends, George Kelichek, out of the taxpayer. He got back a report that since 2016, we have lost, I think it was 1,162 less in enrollment. That's 1,162 less kids enrolled in the Rockdale County school system. Right now, we are averaging spending $11,000 a year per student. So that is $12,782,000 less that we should be spending because we have 1,162 less students. But our Board of Education, in their wisdom, since we're declining in enrollment, they're going to seek an 8% increase in the budget. Instead of decreasing the budget because we have decreased enrollment, we are going to increase the budget. You tell me in what world that makes sense. We have less people to provide services to, so we're going to increase the budget. Totally ridiculous. Totally ridiculous, guys. We need to do the right thing for Rockdale County. And whenever we can cut, we need to cut. Same thing is happening at the county level. The county has grown departments. They have grown, but when they grow these departments, their budgets grow. When their budgets grow, then we have to fund those some way, and we fund those through a mechanism called millage rate and property taxes. So I was discussing the other day, they're going to buy a new building for the 911 center. They're going to do it out toward Parker, or out toward South Rockdale, and it's going to be at a building that's at the intersection of 138 and East Fairview. And I initially, didn't have an opinion on this. They were going to do it with SPLOST funds, and I think the funds were allocated for it initially. And a good friend of mine who gives me advice a lot says he really doesn't see it as a need. He said it's a want. He said they actually have a 911 center now that is sufficient for what it does, and it's doing a good job. He told me, and this is another thing that Alex McDonald talks about, and he talks about it all the time, that they want to build these departments and build. It's a job creation program. That what really is happening with this 911 center is the new 911 director, which was the fire chief, Dan Morton, wants his kingdom. He wants this brand new big building that he can actually call his kingdom and build his empire around. So it's all about these department heads when you get them in there wanting to increase their numbers, increase their budgets, so they increase their importance. Bigger budget, bigger importance. A bigger budget, bigger budget, bigger status. So, I didn't have an opinion on it before, but I do now after talking to someone who sits on SPLOST committee, pays attention to these things, and have been involved in that aspect for years, said really doesn't think we need this new 911 center, this emergency management center, that it's just about building a kingdom, and that the facility and the training center we have now is sufficient. It gets the job done. We don't need to spend $1.5 million on that building because we have something already in place. But, guys, they're going to do it. They're going to spend the $1.5 million. They're going to relocate all that, and that's going to happen. And it's they have SPLOST funds to do that, to waste with it. I was told that this SPLOST, they had said originally that it was going to come in, the one that will be expiring in March of 23. That they originally felt that it was going to get like a little over $77 million. Well, from my understanding, that's why that this SPLOST is actually going to correct with projections $113 million. So the new SPLOST that they're estimating at 89 million, which we're going to vote down on May the 24th, they had estimated at 89 point something million. My friend had told me he believes probably between 125 and 140 with current collections would be a more accurate number. So if we have a SPLOST now that is saying that it's going to collect 89, but in reality it may collect 140, there's more than enough money in that SPLOST to build a courthouse at Parker Road. More than enough money. The thing with the SPLOST and with the courthouse is we've allowed this county to exploit the taxpayers of Rockdale County by now SPLOST is inclusive in the budgets, because you've had two commissioners openly say without the SPLOST we can't survive. We depend on that money for budgeting. That money was never intended to be necessary money. It was money that was for special purpose projects that you could do with or without the money. Special purpose projects are projects that aren't emergency. They're not really, you can do without them, but they're nice to be able to do. And special purpose funds, non-essential funds, are the funds that you use for special purpose projects. So, the citizens of Rockdale County, it is time that we take a stand, that we push back, and we say, enough is enough. So, you know what, citizens of Rockdale County, we can make a difference. We can make change occur, because we do have the most powerful thing there is. We have the vote at the ballot box. We just have to get our friends and our neighbors. We have to take a friend to vote. We have to encourage a friend to go and vote. Encourage a friend to go vote against the SPLOST. Encourage a friend to go vote not for Doreen Williams. Do not vote for Doreen Williams. I'll say it again. Do not work for Doreen Williams. Doreen Williams is bad for Rockdale County. Bad for Rockdale County. We have these ballot questions. Do you believe that Rockdale County should have 5 commissioners? Yes. Do you believe Rockdale County should be elect their commissioners by district? Yes. Those are Republican questions. Do you believe the Rockdale County Board of Education should replace Terry Oates? Yes, it should replace Terry Oates. The Democrats, do you believe a location other than Parker Road should be considered for a courthouse administrative building? Yes. Other than Old Town. The answer is yes. A location other than Old Town should be considered. Do you believe that a professional manager should run the day-to-day operations? The answer is yes. Do you believe, in the Republican question, do you believe a courthouse facility should be built at Parker Road for under $40 million with SPLOST funds? The answer is yes. To answer yes to that, you must vote no for the SPLOST. We must defeat this SPLOST and send a message to this county. Your days of reckless spending are over. The citizens want to take charge, and they want to determine how their funds are spent, how their tax dollars are managed. Like I mentioned before, share this show. Guys, it's right in front of you. If you're watching on Facebook right now, just go down and hit the share button. Share this show and give it reach, because you're the ones that give it reach with your share. If you share the show and give it reach, then your friends have access too. And if you've got the time, go in there and share and then tag people that you want to see it. As far as that commercial goes that we were talking about, the SPLOST that educates people, like I said, guys, we've got 3,200 views. And of those 3,200 views, when I looked right before the show, 2,132 people had watched it all the way through. That's a lot of people who have watched that all the way through. So people are watching it through because they're interested in knowing what's going on. That's why I feel if we get 5,000 views of this 38 to 4,000 through plays, then that will be a lot of educated people on the SPLOST in Rockdale County. So go and share that. Go to This Week from Rockdale. Share that. Share that. Share that. So that the people of Rockdale County know what's going on. Share that commercial. Share this show. If you share this show, then people know what's going on in Rockdale County. They know about these election issues. They know about these candidates. They know about these ballot questions. And they are an informed voter. We need to do everything we can to inform voters of what's going on in Rockdale County. we had an interesting Republican Party meeting this past week. We had John Gordon running for Secretary of State as a Republican. Very interesting man. I really liked what he had to say. Seemed to be a very fair individual too. Because, we asked John Gordon a lot of questions. We asked him election questions. But we also asked him about municipal and county officials breaking the law and not doing what they're supposed to. Then he asked a question back. He said, how many counties do you think I've been to so far in the last few weeks? Somebody said, no. He said, I've been to 30 counties. And he said, do you know what? We said, what? He said, I've not been to a county that they've not said their county is doing illegal things and there's nothing they can do about it. He said, as Attorney General, he will figure out what he can do about it. He said he might not be able to do anything, but he's going to try to do something. And then if we figure out there's nothing we can do, then we're going to have to go to the legislature and they're going to have to change some laws to make the counties and the cities responsible that they have to obey the law. If you and I get pulled over for speeding, they're not going to sue me to make me go the speed limit. If you and I get caught stealing, they're not going to sue me to determine if they can press charges for stealing. They're going to book me, press charges, and I am going to go to jail or pay fines. But the county governments and city governments, they get to break the law, just openly break the law, not comply with legislation. And you have to sue these rascals to make them obey the law. What is right about that scenario? Not one single thing is right about that scenario, people. That is ridiculous that the citizens of this state, the citizens of these counties and municipalities have to tolerate the fact that we are expected to sue our own government, which we are the bosses of. We have to sue our bosses to do their jobs legally. To do their jobs legally. We need to put an end to this, and we can. And I'm beating a dead horse here, but we have the power. We have the power at the ballot box. We can make change by voting. We can make change by getting our friends and family and neighbors to go vote the right way. Defeat the SPLOST, defeat Doreen Williams, and answer ballot questions. Send a message about what we want in this county. The task force has got another meeting this week. I believe it's on the 10th. I will not be able to attend this meeting. I know Dan Burks probably will and Charlotte Geller will. So I'm depending on those individuals. I have actually a previous engagement. I have to go. I committed to speaking to a Republican women's group in Newton County on the 10th. So I will be speaking there as the chairman of the 4th Congressional District. So I will not be able to attend this meeting, but I know that we will have representatives there who will be taking notes and knowing what's going on. Oh, it's on the 12th. Well, on the 12th, I'm out of town. So on the 10th, I'm doing a speech, Charlotte. And then on the 12th, I actually have a business meeting that I have to attend about a business review for my company. So contrary to popular belief, guys, I do have a day job that I work very hard at and spend a lot of hours doing. So on the 12th, I will be engaged in business activities. So I will again be depending on Charlotte and Dan and a few fellow people that did, hopefully Clayton Warwick will be able to go again, and then Catherine Lynn. Catherine asked a lot of good questions last time when she was there, and I think got them a little bit rattled. So, hopefully those same folks can go and they can represent the citizens well at that meeting. So they are going to take a tour, as Dan just mentioned. This time they're going to take a tour of the some different facilities that they're going to look at combining into one facility this next when that's what the courthouse task force is going to do. They're tasked to determine the size and space of the building they need to do. So we'll have citizens there that'll be watching out for our interest, because that committee is not watching out for your interest. That committee is not watching out for your tax dollars. That committee consists of actually one of the corrupt individuals who is spending dark money and has an illegal Yes Splosh committee, and that's Doug Smith. Did I mention Doug Smith and Fred Straub have an illegal committee they did not file their paperwork for about voting yes for the Splosh? If you have a non-ballot candidate, a non-ballot issue, you're required to file a committee. You're required to do the paperwork before you raise the first dime. You're required to do that. So there are vote yes Sploshes out in the community. They are illegal signs, and they are being spent with dark money. Dark money is evil money, just to let you know. So if dark money is evil money, then the guys doing it must be evil too. It all goes together. Evil is as evil does. Guys, I'll tell you what. It's approaching about 8:45, a quarter till. I've spoke of everything I wanted to tonight. I think that you guys, it's up to you guys about what you want to do. I'll remind you again, share the show, tag friends. Go to the Cox for Rockdale, share the videos. Go to the rockdalevoter.com. Fill out the petitions that are there. We've still got people sending in the petition asking Sherry Washington to resign. We've got people filling out the petition to ask the county for a forensic audit. So let's keep doing the right thing. Let's keep fighting for Rockdale County. Rockdale County is worth fighting for. And if we stand together, arm in arm and hand to hand, and we make that difference at the ballot box, and I know we can impact Rockdale County, and we can make a difference. So I'm just asking each and every one of you, let's work together, let's make a difference, and let's fight to make change in Rockdale County. I will be traveling this week, but I will bring some stuff with me, and I will attempt to go live Wednesday from the road. So we will take this week from Rockdale, the Wednesday edition on the road. And I will attempt to go live at 8:30 p.m. Wednesday, broadcasting from the road. So I look forward to that. Remember, guys, share the show, share the commercial on Cox for Rockdale. Go do the petitions on this week on the Rockdale Voter, and let's get out and vote and make a difference. See you on Wednesday, guys, and thanks for tuning in.